unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego Unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Y'all gonna learn to stop playing with me, man. Let's go. Ego Weight Watchers, aka EW, where I give you a look into the fighter lifestyle before, after, progress picks, especially when they have an upcoming fight. Now, it is said that Terence Crawford will be fighting Canelo Alvarez in September. All Canelo has to do is get past and defeat the IBF champion to become 2X undisputed. He goes by the name of William Skull. Now, I've already made videos expressing this, several videos in fact, but I gotta bake another one. I've expressed in multiple ways why I don't fancy this fight, and it has everything to do with weight. However, it comes with the territory. When you are great, such as myself, you've been doing this at a high level, elite level, and you're putting out content on the internet, you're gonna have detractors, haters, naysayers, who it's their job to confuse you. Now, I wanna say we live in a soft society in 2025. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'm the GOAT. The reason I say a soft society is because you can have any fair or constructive criticism without somebody saying that criticism is hate. It's just what it is. Like, I could be nice about it, I could be mean about it, I can walk on eggshells to make the point, I could say it like myself, blunt, and no matter what, you're always gonna have a contingent of crybaby fans who say you're hating on this person just because they don't like your ideologies or your theory on what you're saying. Such is the case with Terence Crawford. When I make a Crawford video, you got fans who agree with me, and you got people who say, oh, you're hating on Crawford. I don't care. It's not gonna change anything I'm doing, because I know at the bottom of my heart that I'm doing things for the right reasons, and what I'm saying is pure and I really believe in. So I'm back with another Ego Weight Watchers video, aka EW, to further illustrate the point, because all I want is a fair trial. Just give me a fair shake. My thing is this: if I was truly hating, then usually a hater doesn't have a baseline to the criticism they're giving or what they're saying or why they're saying it. Like, if somebody hating, they'll be like, oh, this person's ugly. Like, that's subjective. So you're just hating on somebody's appearance. I'm not doing that with Terence Crawford, right? What I am doing is breaking down my thoughts on why I don't like the fight, and it has everything to do with weight. I've already said this multiple times, but people have selective hearing and selective outrage. For me, Ego, of Boxing Ego, I don't like, there's never been a time where I've advocated for rapid weight class jumping for anybody. See, you guys are fixated, some of you, on Terence Crawford. I don't care. It's not about Terence Crawford to me. This is about what I believe in, right? And if I'm lying, I'm flying. I have thousands of videos online at your disposal. Go pick out and find one video where somebody was moving up in weight to fight the best person in the division, and they were moving up 2 weight classes, and your boy Ego was like, yeah, this is amazing, I like this, when they hadn't cleaned out the division that they're currently in. So, for example, weight class jumping that has been similar to this. When Amir Khan fought against Canelo, he wasn't proven the best at 147. He had a couple good wins like Luis Collazo, and he kind of struggled with Chris Algieri a bit, got hurt in, I think, in the first round of that fight. So I have a video, 7 reasons why Amir Khan should not move up to Canelo weight to 155 to fight Canelo. When I put that video out, see, that's what I'm saying. You could do this to the other guys, but I got too much longevity in the game. You can't do that to ego because I've been here. When I put that video out, people were saying, oh, you're hating. Amir is going to prove you wrong. He's too fast for Canelo. Some people were picking Canelo. People said it's a good fight, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Amir Khan got knocked out, and now you see why. And now no one even really brings up that fight because they knew it was a mismatch because of the weight. Now, I'm not saying that comparison ties into Crawford because I think Crawford's a better fighter and more talented than Amir Khan. So I'm just giving you guys examples of rapid weight class moving, and I haven't been a fan of that. Kell Brook. We wanted to see Kell Brook fight top welterweights, Keith Thurman, Pacquiao, Errol Spence, guys like that at the time. He decided he's gonna fight Triple G. Hell no, guys, Max is big dramas, guys is his punch is tick, nah. His punch, guy, right? Nobody asked for that. And I said that at that time, and so on and so forth. So why would it be different? This is to the Bud Buddies. Why would it be different for Terence Crawford? Why would it be any different? I like what I like. You can like whatever you want. Get off my page. Don't watch my videos. But as promised, let me continue to cook y'all. So when it comes to Terence Crawford, I've already given the man his props. He is a good little fighter. He's phenomenally skilled. He has the will to win. He has years in the game. He's been undisputed twice, even though his path to undisputed at 140 and 47, not necessarily the same as some of the other people who've been undisputed. And I believe that. Not all undisputed runs are the same. These are my thoughts, people. Just my thoughts. But here's why I don't like the Canelo fight particularly. It's the weight. If Crawford was moving from 47 to 155 when Canelo was at 154, 155 Canelo weight, then I would favor Crawford, just being honest. I would favor Crawford because I think that is a more manageable move up in weight, me personally, because we've seen that. We've seen guys like Floyd Mayweather, and then he can fight at 54. But I don't like for Floyd, and I think Floyd's better than Crawford for the record. But in terms of like offense, defense, Floyd has a crispier defense, blah, 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 right? I wouldn't like Floyd to move from 47 to 168 to fight anybody at all. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's weird. And somehow Turkey and Crawford and the fans or whatever have concocted this plan to brainwash people into this being like an accepted fight. And I just don't look at it like that. You know what I mean? If I am lying, then here's the thing. Tell a bunch of fighters to do this, right? Like tell Keyshawn Davis to move up and fight Jaron Ennis, right? Move, you're at 135. You have one belt. Crawford has one belt at 154, right? Move up past 140 and go straight to 147, right? And fight against Jaron Ennis. Keyshawn's a good fighter. You know what I mean? So do that. And so on and so forth. Tell Shakur Stevenson to move up to 147 or 154. Shakur versus Fundora. If this is a video game and this is what we are doing, and this is not just cash out novelty like weirdo, we got two guys with names, so we're just gonna force the fight that doesn't really make sense, then tell Shakur Stevenson to move up from lightweight to fight Fundora, right? If we could just interchange and play musical chairs and mix and match the people, then I'm telling you some other fights where we can mix and match. And then guess what? I will be reviewed and remarked as a hater because you guys will be like, oh man, you just want to see Shakur lose. Oh man, you just want to see Keyshawn lose. But why is it, these are very good fighters, Shakur and Keyshawn, but you look at it as a death sentence when I said that they should fight Jaron Ennis and Sebastian Fundora. So why would Bud at age 37, will be 38, why would he be an exception to this rule when we're talking about radical weight class jumping, right? here's another reason to prove that boxing ego is on point. Same concept, even with Bud Crawford. When Floyd Mayweather mentioned that Terence Crawford should move to 68 and fight David Benavidez, people said Floyd was hating on Crawford. That's what they said. They said this is appalling and preposterous that Floyd would even mention that. Floyd only said that because he's a hater. Why do you view it if Crawford can compete against the most credible guy at 168? Why is it hating or a pipe dream to see him fight somebody not named Canelo in the same weight class? So either you can compete at the weight class or you can't. So again, this is what I call an advanced cherry pick. Canelo has slowed down. He hasn't stopped anybody since maybe Caleb Plant, right? Guys like John Ryder are able to survive. He has very slow feet and fast hands. So Crawford's team feel they could pick him off, but they don't feel comfortable enough fighting liver, younger, fresher, the David Morrells when he was at 68, David Benavidez when he was at 168, Diego Pacheco, because those fights don't represent the same amount of money, and they know Crawford is not an actual 168 pounder. You see how this is starting to pan out? So you guys are hoping that Crawford could pull it off and shooting for the moon and just going at the top dog, who happens to be the shortest person of notoriety with an attached big paycheck to the name. So even if you lose, people will still kind of give you credit. Like, all right, you lost, but you lost to a person with more experience. But again, if this fight comes off, I'm not trying to hear it. Crawford, the Bud Buddies are telling me he's going to knock out Canelo. Let me see that. I need to see that because I don't like the weight class jumping. But you guys are telling me he's going to knock out Canelo, who's never even been knocked down officially, and he's never been knocked out. He's fought Ladas at 54. He fought Triple G, 36 rounds with him. So I don't see it. I don't see Crawford stopping Canelo Alvarez. So to me, this is really not a great fight because I don't think Crawford is going to be able to move up naturally to 168 and stop Canelo, right? He didn't even stop Madrimov, right? So you're going to move up and stop. You didn't stop Ray Beltran at 135. You're going to move up to 168 and stop a guy like Canelo. I mean, like I said, let's see it. LSI, right? So for me, it's just not that type of fight. Crawford's going to have to try to box and be strategic, and he can't make any mistakes. I don't really fancy fights. I want to see like fights where people are looking like, man, this guy got a chance and this guy got a chance. David Benavidez, David Morrell. Benavidez versus Bivol. Bivol versus Beterbiev. These are fights that I like to see because you can make strong arguments, natural arguments that make sense. With Crawford Canelo, you can't really make the argument. You have to surmise and suggest and guess how Crawford will look at a weight class you've never seen him fight before. You have to just assume his power and skill, it moves up and transitions well without anything faltering. His speed is the same. His power is the same, but he's moving up and packing on pounds. Now, to get to more of the technical side, this is also what I don't like about the weight. Leg out. Now, these are photos of Terence Bud Crawford when he was in preparation to move up to 154 pounds. And for me, Ego Weight Watchers, AKA Ill, this looks like a very formidable Terence Crawford. I mean, he's pictured here with Keyshawn, and this is an old post that I made on my social media. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, link in the description, right? And you see what it says. Ego Weight Watchers, AKA Ill, Crawford is jacked. So as he was gearing up for Madrimov, I gave Crawford full credit because he was looking like he was in great shape. And I was like, man, this is going to be a nice transition to 154 pounds from 147. Here's another picture of him preparing for Madrimov. You look at Crawford's back. His back looks sliced up. He looked in prime shape. You gotta follow me. You gotta feel me. I told you, I really do this. These are pictures of Terence Crawford as he was moving up. His frame looks like peak shape. He looks like he would be able to carry cardio at this weight. He looks sliced up. You can see all his cuts. You know what I mean? And just pause this whole video because I know some of the goofies are gonna be like, oh, look at that. You're looking at him without a shirt and all this goofiness. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it looks like he looks like pretty much the 147 pound Crawford with a little bit more muscle mass. And I think for a boxer, that's kind of what you want. Again, Crawford working, and this looks to be kind of the natural progression of where he is at this point of his career. He looks like 154 is where his body should be. You got to keep in mind, he came from lightweight. So 147, I told you in my video, the fight week, my prediction was wrong. Cool. I got a prediction wrong. I'm human. Surprise. I picked Errol to beat Crawford. I was way wrong. Cool. But I told you they both pretty much look weight drained, and I don't doubt that. I still believe that. I still believe that that was a hard weight cut for Crawford to make at this point of his career. His face looks sunk in at the grand arrivals, right? Now he was able to replenish and rehydrate and still perform at a high level. Props to him. He proved my prediction wrong. But at the same time, he didn't go back to 147 because, like I said, it looks like his body has started to reject the idea of competing at welterweight. And then he had already accomplished what he needed by being undisputed. So there really was no point to stay at 147. I totally get it. Let's keep it going. But you see, this is Crawford at 154 training, and whatever cut he was cutting to get to 154, he looks to be in remarkable shape. This is Terence Crawford when he was on the scale, the actual scale for the Madrimov fight. He was a career high weight for the record, both at the weigh-in versus Madrimov and on fight night, right? And his physique looks perfect, like what you would want. You would be happy with this if you were part of his team or you were training. You're like, all right, he's dialed in. And then he beat Madrimov. So we're all good here. Now, the problem is when you look filled out, when you look like this is the perfect weight for you, right? At 154, you look like this is a good spot for you to be. Now, because of this opportunity and associated paycheck, you have to go from 154 Terence Crawford to 14 pounds higher to fight against Canelo Alvarez, meaning you have more weight to gain. So where are you gaining this muscle from? Mind you, after the Madrimov fight, this is Crawford's face. Crawford had his eye, some bruising and whatnot. So this is at 154. A guy like Madrimov had you kind of bruised up at 154. Now you got to gain 14 pounds. Fast forward to the future. This is Terence Crawford recently, as a fighter from his gym just captured a victory. This was over the weekend. So Crawford, right now, this is how he's looking. This is how Terence Crawford is looking. And for me, it looks like he's bigger and fuller, but he doesn't look like, he looks like bulking. He doesn't look as sliced up as we've seen him. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. More recent, since it's been announced that he's pretty much vacating and going to 168 for Canelo, this is another recent picture of Crawford. Again, he looks bigger, but you compare that to him at 54 and him in preparation for 154, he looks in different shape. Yes, he looks bigger, but it kind of looks like almost like a retired fighter who just got bigger in their off season or since being retired, but they're still in somewhat of shape because they're still pro athletes. That's what it looks like. Crawford doesn't look he still doesn't look like an actual 168 pounder to me. It looks bigger. Your face is filling out, but it almost looks like unnatural. It doesn't look like this is your preferred weight, if that makes sense. But let's keep it going. I told y'all stop playing with me. Here comes the boom. So this is Terence Crawford, another Canelo bulking picture. And again, his shape looked fine, I guess you could say. But this does not look like peak form Crawford. Like, if I'm being real, his midsection looks wide, but he has a six pack. And so basically his core and his midsection, to me, doesn't really look like it matches his arms. You know what I mean? So this just looks like your frame, you're adding weight to it and bulking up, but this doesn't really look like this is naturally where you should be as a pro fighter. That's just my honest take. And I'll show you a comparison picture. The picture on the left will be Crawford at 147 to 154 when he was in that range. Let me pull it up. So right there's Crawford with the red shorts, and this is him when he was at 47 to 54, him in the gym, versus him now on the right where he's bulking up for Canelo. Boom, here's another one. This is an Everlast photo shoot that Terence Crawford did, and it's just not looking like the same dynamic. It doesn't look like, it looks like a force. I don't know how else to say it. It looks like you're bulking up, yes, but you don't look like you're in the same type of shape that you previously were in. So I'm not saying it's bad or terrible shape, but again, this just don't look like the shape that we've been accustomed to seeing you in. So yeah, you're putting on the weight, you're putting on mass, you're putting on the size. I'm sure you're like trying to bulk and then you're gonna cut down, but it just, here's the thing. Canelo has been fighting at the 160 plus weight division almost a decade, 8+ years. You're having to do it in one motion pretty much since your last fight to now. And to be honest, I don't know when you would have started this bulk, because at the end of the day, there were points where Turkey and Canelo weren't even getting along with each other. So it didn't look like the fight was going to happen, right? So at some point, 8 months ahead of September, you're doing all this bulking. It just doesn't look like the same build. So again, you bud buddies, I don't want to hear daring to be great and stuff. Crawford needs to win here. He needs to beat Canelo and all this stuff that you guys are saying. But for me, I don't like the rapid weight class jumping. This is my opinion. I've explained thoroughly and illustrated why I don't like this particular fight. People keep saying Bud is a great fighter. True. But they're acting like Canelo's a chump and he's just like mad easy to beat. And all these comparisons. Oh, but John Ryder didn't get stopped. These are all guys who have been campaigning at the weight class. Berlanga's like 200 pounds, right? When he rehydrates. He told you that. He was like, oh, I'm gonna fight Anthony Joshua, right? Munguia is huge. So we're talking about other guys who are bigger framed than Terence Crawford as well. In fact, I'll pull up a picture. This is years ago, Canelo Alvarez. Boom, boom. So right there, this is Canelo, and it was really, I don't remember the exact month, but this was when he was at 154 pounds. Canelo just looks to be the bigger person, and his body looks more natural at the higher weight classes, him having the added weight. He's short, he's not the tallest person, but it looks like his frame can support the added weight. This is 154 pound Canelo. And I could do this all day if y'all want me to make a separate video about Canelo. He just looks like his frame is more equipped to deal with the added size. People also keep making these weird, oh, but Floyd fought Canelo in 2013. Again, over a decade ago. And Crawford doesn't fight like Canelo, so I don't even understand the comparison there. Crawford likes to engage. He's aggressive. He's an aggressive boxer puncher, and he doesn't fight going away through 12 rounds. If you punch him hard, he sticks his tongue out and he wants his lick back. You know what I mean? Completely different fighter to Floyd Mayweather, and a completely different age and experience level for Canelo. So for me, I've expressed multiple times, and I'm gonna keep doing it until this fight. until you guys feel me. These are some of the reasons why I don't really fancy the fight. It's just a novelty fight with names for me, but it just seems like such a force because you have a guy who has been fighting at 160 plus for almost 10 years, and then the guy who just moved to 54 and struggled a bit, he's not doing the tune-up. But then the guy, Canelo, who's been fighting this weight category for almost 10 years, 10 years, right? He's the one doing the tune-up in May. This whole thing is stupid. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that.